The Red Raiders look to take a leap in year number 3 of the Joey McGuire era. And in today's video, we'll discuss the 2024 just released Texas Tech football schedule. We'll break it down in terms of the games that stand out, the stretches that stand out. And at the end of the video, I'll have my record prediction for the 2024 Texas Tech football team. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button and notification bell, what are you doing? This is the only Texas Tech YouTube channel giving you instant reaction to breaking news on all things Texas Tech football all year long. This schedule hasn't even been out 20 minutes yet, and this video's out. You got to give us some credit here. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and while you're at it, if you like what you see for Texas Tech football and what they've done in the transfer portal, you like what they're doing on the recruiting trail, and if you're just overall excited about Texas Tech football in 2024, like the video. It goes a long way in terms of helping us and, hey, builds a bigger and better Texas Tech community here on YouTube. And if you want to be a part of it, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech football all year long right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel. All right, without further ado, we got enough of the promos out of the way. Let's get to the damn schedule, shall we? Here we go. We knew the first three. It was Abilene Christian, Washington State, North Texas. In that order, 2 home games, 1 away. The away game is at Washington State. We start in Big 12 play with 2 home games against Arizona State and Cincinnati, 2 teams that will more than likely be projected to finish definitely in the bottom half of the Big 12, most likely bottom 4 of the Big 12. That is critical. There is a real chance that Texas Tech starts the year out 5-0. Then they go out to Tucson to play the Wildcats. They have a bye week after that, where then they will play the Bears of Baylor on October 19th. They will then travel east to TCU and play a home away from home for Texas Tech, with how many Red Raiders show up there in Fort Worth against the Horned Frogs on October 26th. They will then travel to Ames. That is a difficult back-to-back there, Fort Worth and then Ames, but everybody struggles to win in Ames. That's where they will start their November, will the Red Raiders. Then it's prime time. Out in the 806, Coach Deion Sanders, Shadir Sanders, and Travis Hunter will travel to the 806 on the second weekend of November to play the Red Raiders. After their matchup with the Buffaloes, Texas Tech has another bye week before heading up to Stillwater, the weekend that you could see some movement in the Big 12, right? In terms of that could be a big weekend for not only Oklahoma State and their chances at playing in the Big 12 title game, but maybe Texas Tech. We'll talk about that here in a little bit as well. Then you finish it off with Senior Day on the last Saturday of November against West Virginia. Now, my first overall thought in this one in terms of the stretches that stand out, there's really 2. The first 5 games of the year, Texas Tech is going to be favored in all of them, regardless of that one road game at Washington State. Texas Tech will be favored, and there is a real chance heading into the matchup against Arizona on October 5th, that both of those teams could be 5-0. There's a real shot at that. Texas Tech, again, plays Abilene Christian to kick off their 2024 campaign. They go up to Pullman. Washington State has been decimated by the transfer portal. Texas Tech has capitalized on some of that, adding their best wide receiver in Josh Kelly, and then Cam Ward, their starting quarterback that has NFL prospect potential, is now down at Miami. They've also lost countless other guys to graduation in the portal. So they'll be kind of trying to figure things out early while Texas Tech returns quite a few guys. Now, then you come home, play North Texas. You're going to be favored in that one as well. Arizona State, they've got some potential as well. Maybe they bounce back from a 3-9 season last year, but that's going to be tough for the Sun Devils to come to the 806, the first Big 12 game of the year. I think Texas Tech wins that one. And then Cincinnati, down bad right now. Maybe they improve, maybe not, but I think Texas Tech is going to be heavily favored in that. And there is a real shot Texas Tech goes 5-0 to start the season. I mean, this schedule lays out perfectly. Now, the stretch that really stands out to me in terms of let's see what Texas Tech is really all about, it's after their first bye week and right before their second bye week. It is at home against Baylor, at TCU, at Iowa State, and then the Coach Prime game. That is going to tell a lot about your team, because if you can win those 2 home games, which will be critical on this schedule for Texas Tech, and you just somehow maybe win at TCU or you catch Iowa State slipping, okay, you got a chance there, right, in terms of really surprising some people. Oklahoma State, at Oklahoma State, I should say, as your second to last game. That stands out a little bit as well because I think there could be some Big 12 seeding implications there potentially as well. And then at home against West Virginia on Senior Day, a Mountaineers team that really surprised a lot of people last year, including myself. They return. Quite a few people does the Fighting Neil Browns. That will be an interesting matchup. Now, before we get into my record prediction, way too early record prediction, I should say, for Texas Tech football in 2024. One more reminder, smash that subscribe button and smash that notification bell to stay in the know on Texas Tech football all year long. This is instant reaction. This was my gut reaction in terms of my prediction that we're going to talk about right here in just a second. Nobody else on YouTube in the Texas Tech space is doing this. So if you want to join the most engaging Texas Tech community here on YouTube and the fastest growing, and the biggest already Texas Tech community on YouTube, like the video, smash that subscribe button, and most importantly, turn on that notification bell. All right. Again, I'm telling you, this was my gut reaction to seeing the schedule in terms of my initial way too early 2024 Texas Tech football prediction. You can see it at the bottom of your screen. I'm going to run through it real fast and then kind of hit some points that I think are critical on the schedule for Texas Tech once again. I mentioned it. I think they start 5-0. I really do. They lose at Arizona, in my opinion, on October 5th. They start 5-1 going into the bye week. I think they beat Baylor out of the bye at home. I think Texas Tech has proven in the Joey McGuire era they are really good at Jones AT&T Stadium. 6-1. Then I think you go to TCU, and I think you beat the Horned Frogs. Now, the Horned Frogs may be projected higher than you in the Big 12 preseason poll, but I think Texas Tech is going to end up being a better team. I think Texas Tech wins in Fort Worth. I think they lose the next week up in Ames in 7-2. They then beat the Colorado Buffaloes at home going into the bye week with an 8-2 record. Then they go to Stillwater, lose there against the Fighting Mike Gundys, fall to 8-3. And then to finish out the year, I think they win on Senior Day against West Virginia in 9-3 overall. Listen, it's tough not to drink some of the Kool-Aid. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm right there with you guys in a lot of this stuff in terms of it. But if you just look at the schedule, right, those first 5 games, you should win. You should win. You should be damn near heavy favorites in all of them outside of maybe Washington State where you're going to be a 5, maybe 4-point favorite in that one. But you should win those games if you're Texas Tech. That gets you to a 5-0 base going in to really the tougher part of your conference schedule. And again, you start at home. 4 of your first 5 games are at home. You got to at least win the home games. Worst case scenario, you're 4-1 if you handle business at home, which you 100% should. Okay. Then you go to Tucson. I think Arizona's really good regardless of their coach leaving. They kept their quarterback and they kept McMillan, their star wide receiver. That's going to be a tough place to win. So I'm going to give that one to Arizona. Then you got your bye week. I truly believe worst case scenario, you're going into the bye 4-2. Then you play Baylor. Handle business at home. That is the big thing if you're Texas Tech. Think about it. 4 of your first 5 are at home. Win your home games, you got 4 wins. Then you play Baylor and Colorado at home. That's 6. And then you got West Virginia, 7. If you handle business at home and just have 1 slip up, you're bowl eligible. Okay. But that's not where Texas Tech is trying to get to. This schedule really sets up for you to have a chance to compete at a high level in the Big 12. I'm not saying they're going to win the Big 12. I don't think Texas Tech is the best team going into the preseason. But if you just strictly look at the schedule and how it sets up for Texas Tech, outside of that Iowa State and TCU right there in the middle, where you have, 2 road games sandwiched between Baylor at home, Colorado, and then sandwiched between 2 bye weeks, that's a tough stretch. There's no doubt about it. But your first 5, you are going to be heavy favorites. You're going to be favorites in 4 of them. I should say heavy favorites in 4 of them. And I think favorites in all 5. That Arizona game, not for the faint of heart. They're a good football team. I truly believe Texas Tech starts the year 5-0. They lose at Arizona once again. As I mentioned, 5-1 going into the bye, 6-1 beating Baylor off the bye. They win at TCU 7-1. They go to Iowa State and lose. They beat Colorado at home. They go into the bye week. After the bye week, they lose at Oklahoma State and then beat West Virginia, on Senior Day. But I want to hear from you guys to close out the video. Predict it. Texas Tech football will win blank games in 2024. Let me know down on the pinned comment below. Oh my goodness, this is fun. It's fun to have football back. I'll tell you that. And if you're excited about Texas Tech football being back here in the not too distant future, spring is picking up, and then we'll have a ton of content here on the channel talking about position groups, film breakdowns, everything in between. We've got you covered. So all you need to do is this: like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know all year long right here on the most engaging Texas Tech community on YouTube. Of course, I'm talking about the Back to 12 podcast channel.